How's it going, everybody? This is Spencer Ostrowski. We're back with Delivering Sports once again.
By popular demand.
Exactly. Kevin and I have both had... Actually, before I start, I just want to introduce... We are officially in the Lee Bishop recording studio here at UNLV. It's brand new. If you don't know, Lee Bishop, he's the one who designed our new logo. You can take a look right here on the video, which you can see on Instagram at Delivering Sports, Twitter at Delivering Sports, or YouTube Delivering Sports. It'll all be on there. We're completely rebranding ourselves. We've both gained a lot of experience since the last time we recorded, and we'll go over that now. Kevin, you can start.
Howdy, folks. My name's Kevin Kelly, and it's real good to be here right now. I'm gonna get out of my Mr. Rogers voice and say, over the past couple of years, I've gotten a little more experience, producing stuff, and especially now with I work on a collegiate esports program, and it's just broadened my horizons as a journalist, and also just never losing my love and passion for the sporting. So that's why I'm here, and I'm really happy to be here.
What kind of stuff have you done, specifically, for the shows? We know you've been a part of it, but are you talking writing, producing, on-air time, that kind of stuff?
Mostly, a little bit of all of that. A lot of producing, just putting shows together and stuff like that. I've been writing a little more about the collegiate esports scene. Spend my fair amount of time on camera talking about, specific esports, stuff like Call of Duty, stuff like that. And just this last week, I actually had a really cool opportunity to go talk to 2018 NASCAR Rookie of the Year William Byron in an event at the HyperX Esports Arena at the Luxor. It was a really cool experience.
Awesome. So, yeah, we've changed a lot since, I would say the last time we were seriously into, or at least I was in Delivering Sports, was mid-season of the Las Vegas Aces. And so I'll talk a little bit about my journey now. So I tried for a really long time to get hired by the Aces as a sports writer. That was kind of my dream to start out with. And it didn't work out for me, obviously. So for a while, I was kind of down on the whole sports thing. I thought it was a pipe dream to start with. That's why I didn't go to journalism school in college. And I went because I thought I still had a chance. And my luck factor was getting really down. And honestly, there's a lot of stuff going in life that had me down. But through whatever means, a lot of people call it kind of God's intervention and stuff like that, I ended up at Buffalo Wild Wings for a Monday night with my roommate, who is also a blessing, Damian Garavito. God bless you, man. I love you. We ended up there, and we were just trying to enjoy some wings. I was trying to get away from everything and eat, and it turns out that there was a host party at the Buffalo Wild Wings we're at, and it was with my boss, Brian Feldman. I didn't know him at the time, but he said, whoever can beat this Blazing Challenge, which is the hottest wings at Buffalo Wild Wings, if you can complete the challenge, you can come on the show. Come check it out and see how it all works. And he's really nice. He's always been nice to me. He was like, yeah, sure, man. Definitely. Let's schedule it for a few weeks. So for the next few weeks, that's all I could think about. In any case, we ended up scheduling for a few Sundays. And we got in there. My buddy wasn't really too big on the radio. He didn't really know what to say. I didn't say anything. I was just really excited to literally be sitting in a studio with microphones just to see how actual radio works, because I honestly had no idea, and there's no real way of knowing unless you have experience. Anyways, after the show, I ended up getting his number and his email, essentially begging him, please, man, I'll clean the floors of the studio. I'll literally do anything. I'll wipe up after you're done. I just want to be in the studio and to be around it because it's my dream, and I want to be a part of it. Again, one lucky thing after the other. He ends up telling me, dude, you seem like you're really into this kind of thing. And actually, someone who used to work on the show is out for job training. And he said, I need someone to film the show. We do it on Facebook Live for our show. And I was like, that's incredible. Thank you so much. And he said, we have a pick segment at the end, and I'll get you on with that, and we can have your pick of the week. So since then, I've been going on, and it's been an incredible opportunity, and my role has been expanding ever since. I now have a segment called I'm getting different times to talk and kind of talk about different kind of sports things, and we only have an hour, so I obviously don't have a chance to give my opinions on all the topics we talk about. That's just impossible with three people who are very opinionated on sports. Obviously, they're on the radio show, but anything I get has been an incredible experience for me. And through the show, I've actually met my other boss, who I write for, the Vegas Take. I write for them on a regular basis. That's kind of like my full-time job, you could say. I write about a full range of topics, anything from betting to boxing, UFC, football, basketball, hockey. I talk about it all, and that has helped me a lot too. I've learned so much more about sports than I knew before, and I'll admit, like, hockey is kind of my weak spot, but through writing, I have learned so much more about the sport, and I kind of feel like I'm much more like of a well-rounded expert that has helped me come onto the radio and kind of bring those things. And just a little bit about myself. I'm a highly analytical guy, even though I don't actually like statistics all that much. I feel like they're kind of too important, but I've kind of seen myself transition into that. And, I view analytics more as a supporting kind of thing instead of an end-all be-all, because I think if you care too much about analytics, you turn into the Houston Rockets, and we've seen what that comes into.
The only eye test analytics guy.
I really am, which is kind of surprising, and most people won't see that, won't kind of say that about me, but I do try to get a mixture of both, and I'm honestly watching sports all the time. So since I've had the opportunity to actually work in it, I've watched it tenfold, because I used to not be able to work and make money off of it, but now I am. So this is kind of just our introduction podcast that you'll have. I didn't want to do this in the middle of like another podcast, because if you click on something waiting to hear about a trade deadline and you end up spending the first 10 minutes or so hearing about some guy's journey there, you probably aren't going to be too interested in the podcast, or you'll click off.
And just the two of us have kind of just gotten a little more experienced, like in
real world
in
experience.
what it takes, and not even just like in the real world, but like what it takes to like do a podcast.
Yeah,
and
what everything that goes into it.
Make it actually good, and what draw people in. We have this is not our only podcast. We do a podcast with our good pal Fredo, the Blue Milk Boys.
I got the hoodie on right now. You can see it on Instagram. I'll have it up there.
Started out primarily as a Star Wars podcast, kind of like slowly evolving into more of like a TV and film podcast. Hopefully that's going to be back in full force soon. Post doing episodes of Blue Milk Boys on a regular basis.
And we're on Apple Podcast and everywhere you listen to podcasts too. So and it's not just like a social media thing. We're actually it'll be recommended, I'm sure, at the bottom of this podcast. You'll be able to go right to it. So if you're interested in culture stuff, it's pop culture more than it is Star Wars now. So, but you'll find everything there.
Yep.
That's about it. If you want to listen to my radio show, or not mine, but the one I interned for, it's Fox Sports 98.9 FM, 1340 AM. We are on Sundays, 8 to 9. And actually this Sunday coming up, February 9th, if you're listening to the podcast, I will be co-hosting the show. My boss is going to be out of town, and he actually gave me a huge opportunity to be a part of the show, like on a more full-time type of basis type of thing, just for 1 week. But if you're interested, you can come check me out. I'll be on the radio in Las Vegas. Anything else?
No, that's going to be it for this introductory reintroduction episode of Delivering Sports, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you so much for listening, guys. Appreciate it.